Hey guys, and welcome to The Last Word. Thanks for tuning in. We have a great show for you guys today. We have two special guests calling in on the Last Word hotline and going to bring us a little bit of insight on both the AFC and the NFC and how their teams are doing in the offseason. We try to bring you live content and try to give you in-depth interviews, and this is one of those shows. So guys, tune in. We got a special Super Bowl champions are going to be here in studio to talk to you guys, as well as the top contender in the NFC with the Packers. So we're going to be talking to them today, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Our first guest is going to be the Super Bowl Chargers, and it's coming up right now. All right, guys, and next we have a great special guest here on the phone. We have the one and only Synergy champion who recently just won the Super Bowl, the LA Chargers user, Young Weez. What up, Weez?
What up, what up, what up?
How does it feel, sir? I mean, you told everybody that, you're a contender. They saw that you went under the radar, and then you won the Super Bowl. I mean, how does it feel?
I mean, most people know what it is. Uh, I won 4 bowls last year, went to 6. So maybe they just forgot. Maybe I was under the radar. That's fine. But I think I went ahead and reminded people. So I'm not surprised that I was there. I know what I can do when I lock in. Had some things go my way. Had some good defensive schemes for some receivers that I knew I was going to be having to deal with. And it just ended up working out.
That's a perfect segue into my next question. What a playoff run. You got the Chiefs, the Bills, Bengals, and then finally the Rams. Let's start with the Chiefs. I mean, going in, did you think that you could stop Tyreek Hill?
Yeah, I mean, he's tough. He does a lot of deep posts with them, so you got to kind of do a lot of different stuff with your safeties in their assignments, and you got to do some stuff up front to kind of confuse them. But he's in my division, so I played him a few times. I know kind of the routes that he likes to throw to Hill, so it was just kind of executing the game plan really, and it ended up working. 0 catches, so feel good about that going into my next game versus the Bills.
Nice. Yeah, going into the Bills game, this is more outstanding than the other wins. This is the offensive juggernaut, the Bills. I mean, last year's Super MVP Kelly. No, sorry. Last year's and this year's MVP race candidate with Josh Allen, and then Listenby and all the receivers just going for nuts yards, end up with 3 points. Tell us a
Right.
little bit about that game. What you thought going into that game?
Um. Well, I played him. Excuse me. Played him in the playoffs in the second round last year. Last year I was 14-2, so I had to buy. I played him in the second round, and I noticed that he likes to do a certain type of route with Listenby in the slot. So he burnt me, he killed me that game with that route, and I know he likes to run inside zone a lot. So going into the game, those two things are going to be what you see a lot of. So I just made some adjustments and made sure that that wasn't how I got beat, and it worked out and kind of. It was a defensive battle all game, and I'm not gonna act like I was just killing it on offense. I think I had like 100 passing yards total and like 50, 60 rushing yards. So it wasn't like I was doing much on offense, but
Gotcha,
I
gotcha.
made him throw some turnovers my way, and made him go to the next read when Liston B wasn't open. So it ended up working out again.
Nice, nice. I mean, your defense is outstanding. Okay. Uh,
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
the thing is that you have one of you had the top defense all year long. You had the top defense clearly in the playoffs. I mean, and you showed in the Super Bowl. I mean, we're going to go and touch a little bit about Bengals, but for most of the Super Bowl, you kind of saw how you got most of your points. I mean, turnovers and your defense scores a lot. I mean, your offense is great. Don't get me wrong, but your defense does a lot of the scoring.
Well, I'm probably one of the few dudes who doesn't mind blitzing, and I think that most people in Madden are not fans of getting blitzed. Like when I play people, 80, 90% of the time, I'm not getting blitzed. So when you play other people, like they're not gonna really be used to getting blitzed like that. I have no problem blitzing. If you make the right read, you're probably gonna burn me for a touchdown or 30, 40 yard game. And I'm just banking on I get to you before you make that read. And it works for me. I don't have any elite speed anywhere. So I don't have an elite corner that can just match up with your 95 speed receiver. I don't have an elite wide receiver that I can just throw go routes to when I get in trouble. So I got to kind of manufacture some points, and then on defense, yeah, I'm gonna blitz your ass. Like if you, anybody who's played me enough knows that I will blitz, and I will blitz all game if I feel like that's what I need to do to win. So it ended up working in the playoffs. So on certain occasions, I felt like I did a good job mixing it up, not letting you know what I was gonna do before I did it, and got another trophy out of it. So we chilling
Nice.
over here.
That's exactly what I saw in the Super Bowl. You did blitz, but not only that. I mean, this league, you're doing something that not everyone is doing, and especially in the league where I mean the top guys throwing for 3,000 yards, and then the I sorry 5,000 yards, and then the second guys 4, 3. They're throwing for thousands of yards, and these guys are being let throw everywhere. So I can see where they go into the playoffs and they get a team that doesn't give them much time, and you don't have the time to sit there and read your routes. I mean, it benefits you tremendously. I mean, clearly you saw through the playoff run that I mean,
Right. I mean, I don't care. Like, I'm not a big like yardage guy. Like, I don't care if you throw for 500. Like, I just care about points. Like, I know certain people can score. I know if you play the Bengals, you play the Broncos, you play the Chiefs, you play the who else? The Bills. Like, I know those teams can score. So like, I know there's going to be times where they move the ball down the field. So then it just becomes, what can I do in the red zone? Can I hold them to three a few times? They might score, once, maybe twice, but can I get them to kick those field goals instead of score touchdowns? And, that's kind of what the game plan was going in. And luckily, I was able to key in on their number one option and working out.
okay, now let's move on to this year. Well, I mean next year, next season. Um, how do you repeat? What does a Super Bowl team do to get away from the slump? Because you could easily feel comfortable with one championship. I mean you've had won multiples, but how do you not get complacent?
Don't think that I can go into next year doing the exact same thing I did this year. Probably the number one thing. A lot of people that you play in these franchise modes, they play the same way versus whoever they're playing. They're gonna run the same stuff. They're gonna, do the same adjustments, the same little setups that they do or whatever. And for me, I try to not do that because I don't want to be predictable. I don't want to let you know when I'm blitzing, when I'm not blitzing, when I'm trying to throw a bomb, when I'm running. So just try to continue to be unpredictable, mix it up, and confuse people really.
Okay, okay. I see you beefed up your offensive line a little bit with signing Alex Mack. You got some linebackers that can help you with your depth chart. Um, you got a new punter. These moves that are pretty small. But looking into the draft, what are you looking to replace? You have your franchise quarterback, you have your franchise running back. You're working on him. I mean, you have a pretty good defense. What work does the Chargers need to do this offseason, either in the free agency or the draft?
When it comes to the draft, I just take the best available player. I don't care if I don't need the position or not. Like, I'd
Okay.
rather I'd rather take the player that I know will be the best available rather than go for a position of need that isn't that good and then have somebody else take the best player available that just happens to be a need for them. So if there's a corner, I know I definitely don't need any secondary help, but if there's a beastie corner that falls to me and I use the number one dude on my board, I'm gonna take him. And we just have an embarrassment of riches at the cornerback position. If there's I don't need a wide receiver. If there's a beast wide receiver available, I'm gonna take him. So I don't really go into the draft with like I need to address this particular need, yada yada yada. I don't really care. My O line, like I just won a chip with a pretty shitty O line, so I mean, I'm not. It's not a priority. Yeah, I could use help. My left tackle's pretty trash. My right tackle's pretty trash. Um, but I mean, I'm gonna take best available.
Okay, okay. So even if they don't fit your scheme, you're just gonna get whichever
No,
guy.
I don't care. Nope,
Now
I
are you
don't care at
looking
all.
when it comes to best available? Are you looking for as far as combine stats, a little bit of both of your scouting? I mean,
I mean, yeah,
I'm trying to get
I'm gonna
into
look at
the
the
head
scouting. I'm gonna look at the
of a
scouting
Super Bowl
points.
champion.
I'm gonna look at the scouting. Yeah, I mean, if a dude has a good combine, his numbers are good, and the grades on all of his top three stuff is good, then yeah, he's gonna be somebody who shoots up on my board. Like I'm not gonna give all the secret sauce away as to
No,
what
of
I'm
course
gonna
not.
do, but yeah, I mean, I have a draft. I mean, I have my draft board set up already.
So okay, so
Uh,
I can see your game plan going into the off season. Now, when it comes to last Madden, you won four. Now, did you win four straight, or did you? It was a
nah, I won
staggered.
four out of six.
Okay, so you went six straight.
I don't know if it was six straight. I didn't go year one, so
Okay,
just like this year, I lost year one.
okay,
Um, and then I won the next year. I think I won like two in a row twice, and then I don't remember I really don't remember the ones. I'm not gonna lie to you. I just know I didn't win year one,
okay,
and then
okay,
went to six.
okay. You went to six.
I lost year one, and I lost to Spicy one year, and I lost to old Bucks, current Dolphins, I believe.
Okay, okay.
Um, I lost to both of them, but I won four in there. I won back to back once, I believe, but I don't remember the exact order. But I just know I didn't win year one. I think that's probably why people probably just wrote me off this year. They was like, it was a lot of talk last year that I only won because I was the Jags, which was just stupid. But
Well, that was my
you know,
next question. I mean, you obviously you have haters that thought that you got a better team last year than this year. I mean, do you think they will finally shut up after winning this one with a team that was less than last year's?
nah, I mean, they'll just say something about me having the Chargers, the secondary is good, yada yada yada. But I mean, we're like most teams that win the chip, they have elite speed somewhere. So whether it's like an elite corner that they can just put that has like 95 speed that never gets burnt, or they can just throw it up to like a 96, 95 speed receiver. Like I won with no elite speed. I have like a 91, 92 speed receiver, like a 91, 92 speed corner. Like I don't have any elite speed. I just really just schemed a lot of people up. Like I know what you like to do, so I'm gonna cut that off and make sure you do something else. But I mean, people gonna hate regardless. It is what it is. This video game is good for good bullshit talk, like good shit talking back and forth. I'm all for it. I mean, there's probably multiple people in here who don't think I'm that good at the game, but I mean,
Yeah.
the results speak for themselves.
Okay. So, what do you see in the future of synergy? Like, do you fear the NFC at all? I mean,
No.
obviously you're a competitor. Obviously you're a competitor, and you're going to think you're better than others. Correct. That's how you got to think. But do you fear anyone in the NFC? Like, if you get to the chip again, who would take you down? Anyone?
In the NFC, the only people who I would like consider are people that I played in other leagues with for a very long time, and that would be the Rams and the Vikings.
But you just
Like
smashed the
I
Rams.
played.
You just smashed them.
Yeah, I mean, he beat me 6-0 last season though, so like he
Okay.
shut me out. So it's not like I have like a history of just purely dominating them. But we played last year in the same division. We
Okay.
would always play each other in the playoffs too. My boy, the Vikings. We've been in the same Madden league for like 4 years, so he knows exactly what I like to do. And like he knows I blitz a lot, like so he knows how I play. So those are the only people I'm like, if I play them, they know how I play enough to kind of combat some of the stuff that I do. But like, I think the AFC is way better. That's no shot to the NFC, but it's just like I don't think their top would beat our top consistently at all. Like y'all let like the Eagles in. The Eagles got in the playoffs. Like I know it was like a Madden glitch or whatever, but like he's a playoff team and he's awful.
Well, he'd like to
I
say the
can't let
same
that
thing
happen.
about you. Uh,
That's fine. He has no playoff. He made the playoffs like once the whole cycle last year. I beat him 84-10. He has the stock best team in the game this year. Didn't make the playoffs year one with Julio Jones. Barely gets in on the Madden this year. Like he can't. We're not even in the same class. So
yeah,
no, I
that
just like talking shit to him. It's just fun.
no, I
But like
mean,
as
well,
far as
it
like
is
legit
crazy
Madden
though.
play, there's legit Madden play. There's nobody there who would. There's nobody in the league who legitimately thinks he's better than him. There's no like that's. It's just fun to talk shit to him because he gets salty about it.
No worries. Hey, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate all your intel. And guys, you guys better watch out because he's looking repeat. It doesn't matter if he's got the best or the worst team. He said he's going to repeat, and that's what a challenger does. Thank you very much, Weez. Appreciate your time today.
Appreciate you.
All right, until next time. Thank you.
All right.
All right, guys, and our next guest, so let's see if we can get him on the phone. It's the Packers user, Ken. Hey, Ken, are you there?
Yeah, what's up, dog?
Oh, what's going on, buddy? How's everything?
It's going good.
All right, let's
Rough
get right.
season.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Let's get right into it. Let's talk about the season. I mean, finished 9-7. You thought you had playoffs, and then out of nowhere, Eagles and Seahawks get in. I mean, what do you feel about that?
I feel I'm definitely sick. I feel we could have made a splash in the playoffs. We lost to couple teams that we shouldn't have lost to. Close games. Some big divisional games that we should have won in our eyes. But it is what it is. We can't really dwell on it right now. We just gotta focus on getting our team ready for next year.
My next question is, when it comes to your division, I mean, the Lions won that division. Are you what do you do next to ensure that you win a division and ensure a playoff spot?
We just got we just gotta learn to finish games. I mean, we got our enemies' teams down. We gotta put our foot on their throat. We gotta finish the game, and that's where a lot of our losses came from. Not really closing out the game. Defense giving up too many big plays, explosive plays. Being aggressive at the wrong time, I guess.
Yeah, I see a lot of your losses are very, very close. I mean, you lost 3 points to the Giants, 3 points to the Vikings, 2 points to the Lions. These are super, super close games that, one or two, just one game actually gets you into the playoffs. How do you avoid that? How do you avoid that going forward?
Uh, Definitely more production on offense, and adding some pieces through the draft for sure. We recently added a center out of free agency. We thought was a big pickup. We were hurting in that spot, and we definitely look to reinforce our secondary in the draft as well.
Okay, so that was my next question. Look into the draft. I mean, you have a first round pick. Are you going best available? Are you going to find what fill out some holes? I mean, give us a little bit of what the Packers offseason is going to look like. I know you picked up some free agencies, but are you looking for some more free agents? Are you going to go with the rest for the draft? Let us know.
Um, yeah, so I don't really see too much left in the free agency. We got what we needed in the first round. We're gonna save some money. Be prepared for next year. We see that there's gonna be a couple good guys in there next year. We'll have a few big contracts that's gonna time out after this season, or potentially even players that may retire. Depending on how everything goes. But when it comes to the draft, I think we're definitely gonna take best available. Being that our pick is kind of late, unless we're able to move up, then we'll be able to try to grab somebody that we want. Won't really disclose who we want right now, just because there's other teams out there that may want that player as well. But you know, um, that's definitely what we're looking at right now.
Yeah, I see some of the. I mean, you paid big money to the center. I mean, was that big problem? Was there a lot of people rushing up the middle and just getting in clearly? This looks like it was a big issue for you guys.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we had some big holes on the O line. I mean, we have some young guys that we're trying to build, to fill those spots for the future. But for right now, we definitely needed him to play that key part in our offense. Aaron Rodgers took a lot of sacks last season, which limited our offense from making big plays. Running back can get out of the backfield a lot of times. So I mean, that's definitely a key pickup for us. If we thought there was a guy to pick up, it was him.
That well, offensive line is a big. I mean, if you look at the stats, most the players that have the most sacks are up there: 21, 20, 20, 19, 17, 14. All those teams are bringing in the pressure, and you're right. You need somebody to hold your quarterback up, or else you know what? It can cause injury. It doesn't give you enough time to play, and it's just three and out. Now, let's talk about next season, or just let's
All
talk
right.
about let's talk about this season. When it came to the playoffs, did you feel like some of those guys that got past you could have beaten, or even the Rams kind of got slaughtered in the Super Bowl that
Oh
you would have
man.
been able to compete against the top ranked Chargers?
I'm not going. I won't speak too heavily on anybody's teams, or what they're capable of doing. When you get in front of them lights, it all changes. But playoffs is definitely a different game. But yeah, there's definitely some teams up in there I know for a fact I could have competed with. You know, as some of you have seen, if you go through the schedule, we even put the Chargers down earlier in the season, but that's regular season. Playoff football is a different story, but yeah. So yeah, we were definitely disappointed about not getting in, knowing we're able of doing if we were to get in.
Let me get this right. You got to tell me if I got this right. If you were in the Super Bowl against the Chargers, you would have won.
uh, I wasn't there. I don't want to stir the pot too much. Just know that we wouldn't have got blew out.
I mean, you did win them pretty convincingly, 17-27. But I talked to him earlier. He says when he plays a person a second time, he will shut him down. I mean, he proved it with uh, with the Bengals against the Bills, shut down those offensive weapons. Now,
Yeah.
would we? Is this a stretch to say maybe it could be L.A. Green Bay next season in the Super Bowl?
Hey, it's not too far fetched if you ask me.
Okay, okay. Now, when it comes to the AFC, NFC, a lot of people have been saying that the AFC is definitely stronger than the NFC. But I think they're counting some people out, including yourself.
Oh yeah. The guys over in the AFC, they're good competition. But they just don't compare to the NFC guys. I mean, I'm not saying that their best user is over in the NFC, but we're definitely a lot more balanced in the NFC. It could be anybody in the playoffs. I may even fall short. The guy in the Super Bowl next year, maybe somebody totally different. You never know. You know what I'm saying? You got teams, for instance, like the Vikings. He's a good user as well. We have a lot of off the field, on the field beef, so it's a big time rivalry with him. But hey, it could be him too. You never know. Over in the AFC, it's real top heavy. You almost can predict who's going to be there on that side.
Yeah, that is true. Now, last question is, what about Aaron Rodgers? He's your quarterback, but is he your quarterback of the future? And also, when do you give in to letting him go, trading him, or just drafting? Because this draft actually has a pretty good amount of quarterbacks in the first round that could fall to what? Are you number 16, number 17?
Yeah, we got pick 19.
Pick 19. I mean, there's at least three or four quarterbacks, and there's already teams up there that have their quarterbacks. You're looking at, wow, actually, one, two, three, four, five, six. Quarterbacks projected first round, some early, some late. A lot of them with good throw power, some scramblers. What do you think? Is this the time to start building a new quarterback, or is Aaron Rodgers your future for now?
I mean, he's there. He hasn't regressed at all, really. He's able to use his feet to make plays. He has good throw power still. I mean, accuracy's on point. I don't look to draft a quarterback this year. I mean, if he so happens to retire next year, then that's what's going to happen. But as of right now, we're not looking for a quarterback. We're looking to build around him and kind of anchor down our defense as well.
Building around an older quarterback. What is he now? 32, something like that?
30. He's 36. I mean, like I say, if we get
Exactly.
weapons for him, we're trying to win now. This is our mindset. We want to win
Okay.
now. If I could build the guys around him, get the offensive line right, then when it is time for a new quarterback to come in, he won't come in, without anybody to help him. He'll have people there, running back to carry the ball. He'll have good receivers, tall guys, fast guys. Like for instance, we got Campbell at running back. And we picked him up last year. Great pickup. Guy hit the ground running. Kind of stalled out later in the season. Like I said, with the O line problems, but we're definitely looking to feature him a lot more this year and get him some big carries.
I mean, you have Demarius Thomas, you have Davante Adams. These guys are weapons. I mean, and you also have Jimmy Graham. But these guys are not going to be there in a couple years. When does the rebuild start, if ever?
We don't we The way we look at it over here, we're gonna work with who we got. Every season is different. We're not worried about a rebuild. You know, um, we have guys building under the wings of those dudes. That's gonna be there when they do leave. So like I said, we're planning to win now. We're not really worried about the far future.
Now, when it comes to free agent, you let a big free agent go. You let Mike Daniels actually go into free agency instead of signing him. I mean, what was the decision between that? I mean, wasn't he the right scheme for your or fit to your scheme?
Yeah, he was, but it's also the money thing too. Like I said, we still got a couple big contracts here.
True, but I mean, you paid
We
the
had
you paid the man 116 mil for the center. Is right now
right.
this is right now the offensive line more important than the defensive line? Because obviously your
Mm,
defense is what carried you last season. Why not improve on that?
right. Like I said, we got guys that can play other positions. We have Nick Perry, outside linebacker. He's a great fill-in for what Daniels used to be. He's fast off the edge. He's strong enough to get past O linemen. He, can contain, good tackling, hit power. He's stepping up in that role. We have a number of linebackers that can hold it down for us. We got Jake Ryan, Blake Martinez, and also the second year linebacker, Yates. So I mean, we have some guys that can get it done at the linebacker position. And we also added Pierre Lewis.
Okay, nice, nice. I can see where that's coming from. Now, when it comes to let's go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room. The Vikings, you guys don't get along. The you get the Lions, top of the division. I mean, are these guys the guys that are you going to be most worried about, or are you going to focus on your division, or are you going to be focused just one? I mean, a lot of people give you the generic, oh, one game at a time. But let's be honest. I mean, who are you looking out and looking to scheme and to play against, and knowing that this is going to be a big battle and you got to overcome that.
uh, the way I look at it, initially one game at a time is the way you look at things, but we're more we're battling with ourselves right now. Nobody has truly beaten us. The one out of the teams that's beat we beat ourselves. Giving like I say, giving up big plays or sacks in crunch time. It's all on us. We're not worried about nobody else right now. Lions are a good user. Vikings, he's a good user. Despite our beef in the past, or in the near future, guy doesn't really get along with anybody that beats him. Let's be honest. But
Okay.
yeah, man. Like I won't speak too much on it, but other than that, like I said, we're not worried about nobody else. We gotta get our team together.
Nice. Well, thank you, Ken, for joining us. This was Ken from the Green Bay Packers user. Appreciate your time here today.
Of course. Glad to be here.
All right, thank you. Until next time, bro.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed those interviews. Stay tuned for the next one where we discuss the draft. But first, it's time for the last word.
The last word.
My last word is who's next? Who's next to step up and showing those Super Bowl champions, the Cardinals and the Chargers, and surprise the league next season? Or maybe it's not a surprise and it's a juggernaut like the Bills, or the Cardinals come back out of nowhere from the slump and try to get back. Or is it the Chargers repeating? Is it the Packers because they are one game short of actually getting to playoffs? Or is it some of the ones that they mentioned today? Who knows? But who's next is what I'm looking forward to in the season coming. All right, guys, get ready for the draft, and we'll talk to you guys later. This is The Last Word.